Dr. Sheila Edwards Lange. How'd I do?
Great. Let's see if I can find my presentation on here. I see Ernie. Okay, I don't even see mine on here. Okay, who put my slides on here? Michelle or someone? It's not here. I don't see it. No staff? Is there no staff here? I know I did. Oh, wait, maybe that's it. I did mine first. Nope, that's not it. Great. I do have it on a jump drive. Okay, so while I'm getting my PowerPoint, I want to start by just thanking and acknowledging all of those who helped us. We are a relatively new AMP in the Pacific Northwest. And when we were starting, Ben Flores and his team were extremely helpful to us as we made calls to get information. And I also have to thank the people who organized this conference, because as a newer AMP, this has really helped us get started. I also want to thank those who do the work, and 4 of them are here today. Ellen Momson from Oregon State, and Catherine Jordan, and Stephanie Gardner from my campus, who are actually doing a session after this on their work providing international experiences for our students. So this is how, always helps to have a backup plan. There you go. And then Linda Mantell, who, when we started this process, was one of the few of us in the Pacific Northwest who actually had some experience with AMP, having worked in the New York AMP. And she's here, and I want to thank her for being here today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our alliance and give you some data and talk about the institutional impact, and then a little bit about what we're trying to do in the future. Our alliance is actually 3 states, so we're Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. And we have 5 bachelor degree granting institutions. Our university provosts are the principal investigators. We partnered with science centers, MESA, which is Math, Engineering, Science Achievement Program, and community colleges. We structured ourselves in a way that we would get day-to-day, on-the-ground information from our steering committee, and those are the folks who are doing the work on the campuses. Each campus has a faculty and student advisory committee, and then we have a governing board that's made up of our provosts, our science and engineering deans, our directors of partner programs, and then we have a corporate advisory committee that includes people from Intel, Boeing, Microsoft, and others. We have alliance-wide activity, things that we do together, as well as campus-specific activity. We have 3 primary goals: to increase our pathways to college, to encourage underrepresented students to participate in undergraduate research, and to create a culture and climate of success by community building with our students. In terms of pathways, we have activities where we're working with our community college partners to bring students onto campus. We have, with our science center, they have a discovery core of high school students who are interested in STEM. We actually bring those students to our annual conference. And every campus provides undergraduate research opportunities for the students and provides stipends for that. And then at our annual research conference, we have opportunities for our students to present that research. We have a poster competition. And then we also encourage our students to go to other national meetings to submit their posters for national conferences. And so we've had a number of our students go to the Emerging Researchers Conference that is put on in DC, as well as others. And then we actually have 5 or 6 students with us here today, because we strongly encourage them whenever there's an opportunity to present, to submit abstracts for their posters. Every campus has a variety of programs, but the things that we have in common are the undergraduate research, summer bridge programs, dedicated LSAMP centers on each one of our campuses with space for students to study and have access to computers and that kind of thing. And then we try and have formal and informal student communities. We actually started something our first year that was unfunded. We actually didn't have it in the proposal, but it turned out to be one of the best things. Herb was one of those things where the students said that they really loved it, and we're like, but we didn't plan for it. And that is, we have an annual retreat where we bring the students together from all of the Alliance campuses. They love it. It's not funded, but it's something that students highly rate it. Over the years, we've actually, as I said, we're just in our year 5 of our first phase. Our goal is to double the number of degrees that we were granting when we started. Our pre-grant 5-year average was about 300 degrees amongst our 5 institutions. And as our most recent numbers are, we're at 547 STEM degrees granted to underrepresented students. One of the things that it's important to note that our growth here has been much higher than the rate of growth for non-underrepresented students. So we've had a 72% increase in the number of degrees granted to underrepresented students, but on our campuses, the growth in STEM degrees has only been about 22%. So we think that this is evidence that our alliance is working well. The other thing that we're monitoring is our enrollments by class level. We have a lot of transfer students, and so we also have this thing at the University of Washington of pre-STEM majors, so they are not counted as freshmen and sophomores. So we have low numbers of freshmen and sophomores, and then as students are declaring majors or getting into majors, we have these big bumps in our junior and senior classes, and so which is great for us, because what we've experienced is that then has led to helping us to meet our numbers of degrees that we are on track. We're on track to have our 625 by the end of this year. One of the things that's unusual about our alliance, and I know that others, as they're struggling with community college partnerships, and our community college partnerships are by no means perfect. We are continuing to work on that. But we have already about 35% of our degrees that we're granting to underrepresented students come from students who start as transfer students. Now, I put the 5 4-year institutions up here so you can see that there are great variations amongst the institutions, but we are very proud that we are getting underrepresented students in STEM from our community college partners and from others. And so as we look forward to our next phase, that is part of what we want to work on, is to grow this transfer population. It's amazing to me that there were things, we knew that we would work with students, and I had some idea that we would have some institutional impact, but I think the most surprising for me is the depth of the institutional impact that our alliance has had. So for each one of our campuses, we've had this increased emphasis on STEM degree production, and Lewis Stokes has been, our LSAP program has been in the middle of it, connected to all of our new campus programs. We've gotten new STEP grants, new STEM grants, new Department of Education, Upper Bound Science and Math grants, student support, STEM grants. We started a new program based out of Colorado where we have a gold shirt program for freshmen at WSU and University of Washington, where we come in and students actually following an athletic model red shirt for a year as they're trying to get into engineering. And we've had changes in our campus admissions policies. One of the things that we've noticed, and we're actually working on this issue about the pre-STEM issue, is that many of our students, we didn't even know who they were. So trying to identify who are the students with an interest in STEM. And so we worked with our admissions offices to change a lot of our practices so that we could identify students when they come in. We have STEM ambassadors, specifically students who help us host students on campus, host tours, plan visits, that kind of thing. And actually, as students are admitted, help us with yield activities. We've had changes in improved STEM advising and retention programs, new campus partnerships and collaborations. We've been really, really fortunate to be able to get faculty members to write our Lewis Stokes Alliance students in for undergraduate research, paid in undergraduate research experiences. We've partnered with faculty members as they have done career grants. McNair has written us into their grants. On 4 of our 5 campuses have McNair, and they have reserved research spots for our LSAM students, so that's been really wonderful. We have stronger student societies. For example, at Oregon State, the number of students in NSBE and SHIP have doubled. And we have other campuses now that don't have NSBE or SHIP or SOCNUS that are looking to start those. And part of that grew out of the community building as students are going to retreats and conferences and meeting other students on other campuses and learning about what they are doing and then replicating that on the campuses where it doesn't exist. But most importantly, and finally, I think the thing that has happened for all of our campuses is that we have a new way of behaving. There are new norms now for when we are thinking about starting a new program or starting a new initiative. We'll get an email from our colleagues from other campuses saying, we're thinking about doing this. Are you doing this on your campus, or do you know anyone else, any other alliance that might be doing this kind of work? And do you know of any research on this? So before we start any new initiative, we're checking with each other, checking with other alliances, and trying to see what's the research. And so really looking at research-based practices, and then saying, you know, we really need to have some data and outcomes associated with it. So building assessment and evaluation into what we're doing before we even start it. And I know that's a new norm for the University of Washington, and I hear from my colleagues that it's a new norm for them as well. And so it's just a new way of being. And all of these institutional changes contribute then to us being better able to serve students, to identify students, and graduate students with STEM degrees. So with that, there you go.
Thank you so much.